Welcome to Sentinels of the Multiverse, the video game. I'm Jeremy from Handelabra Games, and in this short video I'm going to be giving you your first look at gameplay while walking you through the interface. Our battle today takes place on the primordial lost world of Insula Primalis, where we'll be taking on Baron Blade with a team of Legacy, Bunker, the Wraith, and a brand new promotional character, the super scientific Tachyon. As our battle begins, Baron Blade calls out one of his mobile defense platforms, rendering him immune to damage until we take care of it. And it looks like we've also got a Blade Battalion to deal with. Now, keep in mind this is a first look. It is still very rough. A lot of transitions and animations might not be final yet. So regarding the interface, you'll see that the cards in your hand are at the bottom of the screen here, and the cards in play are just above it, which includes your character card. Double tap on any card to bring up the full card and take a look and read all of the specifics. Looking at Bunker's hand right now, I want to start doing damage immediately, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put Flat Cannon into play, and then use the power. And what you see here is the target selection interface. So we can select any target in the game here. Let's go ahead and select that mobile defense platform and start dealing some damage. We then move into the draw card phase. We do that. And now we're moving on to Legacy. Alright, so looking at Legacy's hand here, the first thing that jumps out to me is that we've actually got Next Evolution and Lead from the Front, which can be combined to make a pretty potent tank scenario. So let's go ahead and get Next Evolution into play, but rather than use that power, let's go ahead and use Galvanize now. We'll use that power on his next turn. So now we move on to the newest member of the team, the super scientific Tachyon. Tachyon moves fast, so let's give her another card to play by dropping in the HUD goggles, which then allows us to play Nimble Strike. We can deal some more damage to the mobile defense platform, confirm that. It drops down to 5. And now we're moving into the power phase. So let's take a look at Super Scientific Tachyon's new power, Experiment. This allows us to pick a character and take 2 cards from the bottom of their deck, and if they share a keyword, they go immediately into play. So let's take a look at Tachyon and see if that experiment's going to work. They do not. We've got a one-shot and an ongoing limited, so we just have to discard them. Draw a card, and we move on to the Wraith. Before we play the Wraith's turn, let's take stock. Looking at the screen, I can see that Bunker has 4 cards in his hand, 2 in play, and 28 hit points. But what if I wanted to see what those cards are? Well, I can just tap on Bunker, and it'll bring up this thought bubble, which will show exactly what's going on in his play area. And the same is true for any hero in the game. It's a really great way to see what's in play at any given time. So I want to keep dealing some damage, so I'm going to go ahead and get Razor Ordnance into play. And tap on it to use the power. In this case, I think I'm going to go ahead and start damaging that Blade Battalion, because I want to get him out of there if I can. Takes them down all the way to 1, thanks to Galvanize. And now we move into the first environment turn. As you know, the environment plays an active role in the game and can help or hurt our heroes. So let's see what it has in store for us this time. Velociraptor Pack. Okay, so this is actually really good because we actually have a Blade Battalion with only 1 HP left, so he gets knocked out. And now we're into Baron Blade's turn. Oof, another powered remote turret. But that's okay. With what we're going to do for Legacy, I think that should work out okay. So now we've got this deal damage here, and you'll notice that there is a Don't Care button at the bottom here. The reason for that is because a lot of times you'll have this situation where you have this card deals each hero target 1 projectile damage, and sometimes you really want control over who takes that damage and in what order. But other times you don't really care. This is one of those situations where we don't care. Everyone's just going to take a damage, and that's that. So we're going to go ahead and tap on Don't Care, and the game will just handle that all for us. One thing to note here is that damage dealing is not finished. We do plan to have it look much better than it does here. with modifiers tallied up so you can see exactly how much damage is going to be done at any given time and from where. All right, so we're back to bunker, and we've got a number of targets in play right now, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use that grenade launcher and just deal some wonton damage here. Let's go ahead and hit that powered remote turret. Then we'll hit the mobile defense platform. And finally, I think we're going to shoot at that Velociraptor pack as well. Draw a card again. So as I mentioned the last time Legacy was up, we have a pretty great opportunity to tank a lot of damage here. That powered remote turret is doing projectile damage, and we have Next Evolution in place. So let's go ahead and lead from the front, which is going to allow us to redirect any damage we want to Legacy. And let's go ahead and use Next Evolution and make ourselves immune to projectile damage. Alright, let's keep doing some damage. We'll go ahead and... let's see here. Well, remember, she has 2 cards to play now, so let's go ahead and get Accelerated Assault in play, and then we can just do some damage. And now this is another situation where the order of damage could turn out to be pretty important. If we could actually knock this mobile defense platform out, we could then attack Baron Blade. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to in this case, because Galvanize is no longer active. And for the second, let's go ahead and get Synaptic Interruption in play. This will allow her not only to redirect damage, but redirect it back at Baron Blade. Let's use her experiment. This time let's do an experiment on the Wraith. All right, so we've got 2 equipment limited cards, which means these immediately go into play, which is excellent news, because if you were paying attention, you'll notice that now the Wraith is going to get to use 2 powers on her next turn. So let's go ahead and get her infrared eyepiece into play, so we can maybe get a feel for what's going to be happening next. We'll start with her stealth power to reduce some damage to her, and then we'll go ahead and use the infrared eyepiece. And I see another powered remote turret as well as Devious Disruption. Let's go ahead and put that powered remote turret on top, since we know that with our Legacy combination out there, that's not going to actually be able to do any damage. Back to the environment turn. We've got an Obsidian Field, which means now I'm even more excited that we've got that Legacy combination out there. Mobile defense platform is down, which means we can now start redirecting some of that damage back to Baron Blade if we want to. Well, thank you so much for taking a look at this first look of gameplay for the upcoming Sentinels of the Multiverse video game due out this fall. We still have a lot of work to do, as I'm sure you could see, but we do hope you like what you've seen so far. For updates, sign up to our mailing list from sentinelsdigital.com or follow us on your favorite social media. And to be one of the first people to actually play the game, come see us on the 6th floor at PAX Prime in Seattle Labor Day weekend. We'll be giving out Super Scientific Tachyon promo cards that weekend, but that won't be the only way to get them. Just stay tuned to find out more. Get out there and save the multiverse.